again and welcome back to the channel. Today I have another G.I. Joe classified review for you. This time it is low light. So I picked this guy up from the Big Bad Toy Store with a bunch of other Joes. This is how much I paid for him. I had low light as a kid, but I didn't have this version. He must have been a later version. He had like a big domed helmet with a visor. He had camo on his face. I don't remember this one at all, but I have had a look at the original vintage and this is very similar to that. So taking a look at the artwork, some real nice artwork here. Nice shot of the image of the figure, and then you can see it looks like some Vipers trying to track low light. So he looks pretty badass. He's got this massive sniper rifle which is actually all foldable or collapsible in this case. We'll have a look at that. On the side, number 86, some nice artwork. The rendered shot at the back, I really like that. And then his particulars here, and then on the side, the QR code, which just goes straight to the Hasbro store. It doesn't actually give you any information about the figure, so that's pretty redundant. Anyway, let's open it up, take a look. Okay, here he is out of the packaging with all of his accessories. So starting off, low light comes with a backpack, a submachine gun, combat knife, communication device, goggles, and a sniper rifle with case. So let's start off with that sniper rifle. This is as it comes in the box, so it's already all inside this nice case, and it is nice. Some nice sculpting on it, not much paint application. Note that it does have a peg hole here and it has a peg there, so you can actually peg the backpack directly in and then get that on his back. You can't do it the other way around because there's no hole in this one. And then it just opens up as so, and that is really cool. Look at that. It reminds me of a vintage figure. I think his name was Bullhorn that I had back in the day, and he had a similar, he had like a collapsible suitcase and it had his weapons in it. So here is his massive sniper rifle. So let's take a look at that. So there is the actual rifle itself. Some really nice sculpting going on here, but again, Hasbro have used that shit material, so it's really flimsy, which is a shame. It does have a removable clip, however, and then the rest of the components. So there is a suppressor in here, a scope, and then a bipod. Can't get that suppressor out. There we go. Okay, so suppressor just pops straight in. That soft material is really causing some problems again. So there's the suppressor. The bipod just clips on, and then finally the scope just pegs into the top. So that is a really nice piece. Only disappointment is the material that they've used, which you'll see when it's posed up. It just bends all over the place, but very nice. And the fact that it's completely collapsible and you can put it in a suitcase, yeah, really nice. Happy with that. Then moving on to the backpack. This is pretty straightforward. Not a lot going on here, just one straightforward colour, this very simple grey. There's some nice sculpting on it. It also has a peg here, which I assume is for his submachine gun, so you can just peg it on. I don't know if you could get the sniper rifle on there. I guess you could. Yep, so you could have the sniper rifle on there as well if you wanted to. And as I said earlier, you can actually peg this into that. And then looking at this submachine gun, it does actually come with a removable clip. I don't know that you can use the suppressor. I did try earlier, but this is so soft, it's bending all over the place, but we'll give it another go. Yeah, it does work. So that's quite cool. I don't know what type of weapon this is. It looks pretty cool, and it looks like it'd be awkward to get into his hand, but it's actually not. It's quite easy. and the clip just goes straight in. It's just straightforward matte black, no articulation on it. It also comes with a combat knife, which is actually a painted combat knife, which we haven't seen for a while. So nice bolt gun metal that they've put on there, and then the black matte handle. You can even see the tiny little screws in there. So that's a bit of a change, a bit extra. The goggles or the visor, this actually was really difficult to get on. I've since stretched it, but when it came, I thought I was going to break it. I had to stretch it so much to get it over his head. And this, I found, is the easier way to do it rather than going from beneath, like taking his head off the peg. This is the easier way that I've found. Yeah, so it does go on quite comfortably. But as I said, I had to stretch that out quite a bit. And then finally, he comes with this mobile phone or a communication device, not entirely sure what it is, but it's just a straightforward matte black. You can see some buttons sculpted on there. Looks like a speaker across the top. It would have been nice to have some paint applications on it, but that's definitely asking too much from Hasbro. So there we are with the accessories. So moving on to the actual figure. As I said, I did have low light, but it was definitely not this version. And he didn't even look like this. From memory, he had a bit of a beard and brown hair, whereas this guy has, or rather this version has blonde hair. The beanie is quite nice. It's sculpted really, really well. The paint applications seem to be pretty good. There's no spill anywhere. Same with the hair. Yep, no disappointments there. All looks pretty good. Just a straightforward neutral look on his face, but you're going to probably have the goggles on, so it doesn't really matter. And then I don't have the 25th anniversary edition or the vintage version, so I can't do a comparison, but I've had a look and they've really captured the original likeness with the color scheme, mostly grey, and then this red, it's not really a lapel, it's more for his sniper rifle, like a cushion. So they really have captured that. There isn't much else in terms of the color. It's literally all just grey, two different tones of grey. He does actually have a couple of nice additions though in terms of holsters. So he's got his boot knife. He's got his combat knife here as a holster on the thigh. And then on this side, this is for his mobile. So that's new. We haven't seen anything like that before. It just slips straight in, like so. And then for the combat knife, that also just goes straight in, like that. And the only other colour he has, apart from the red, is obviously these grenades. He's got two grenades there, and that's it. He does have some silver accents here and there, but nothing else. Completely pinless. He does have quite a bit of movement. I've already been over the articulation. I'll cover that in a moment. But something that is a bit of a bugbear of mine with his later figures. And I don't like to moan about figures being stiff because I'd much rather them be stiff than loose, but man alive, these are so stiff, particularly the knees. Take a look at this. Far out, it's like I'm going to break it. There we go. And they're all like that. All that I've received, the last batch, are all like this. So yeah, maybe I should just stop complaining because, as I said, it is better to have stiff figures than loose figures. I could blast him under the hairdryer and I'm sure that would sort it out. So while we're at it, let's take a look at the articulation. Now, nothing that we're not going to be too familiar with. There's going to be no surprises here whatsoever. He does have a peg down below for the neck and one at the top, so you can actually move the neck independently to the head. He does have some restrictions because of the hair here when he looks up, but nothing when he looks down. He gets all the way around and then back and forth. His shoulders are the butterfly joint and they're quite nicely done as well. You can see he has this cup on the inside, so it doesn't actually look too unsightly. One thing that does look a little bit unusual though is at the top. Not that you're going to be looking down, but here they've got this indent, or rather this cavity for the peg. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, and then he gets backwards and forwards and rotation for the wrist on the peg. Heaps of ab crunch all the way down to there and then all the way back to there, as good as you like. Rotation at the waist, rolled off hips, and this is a softer material, so it doesn't actually hinder it either. So a nice touch. Drop down legs, oops. Drop down legs. He does have a cut here at the thigh, and it's not actually hindered by the holster. The holster actually just covers that portion of the thigh. But I suppose if you was to have it any higher up, you could possibly run into some issues. And then, as I showed you earlier, double jointed knee. I'm not going to go over that again because it's so stiff, but he does have a double jointed knee. He doesn't have a cut here at the shin. He has it low down at the boot, so you can get rotation there. And then he has forwards and backwards at the ankle. So yeah, articulation is good. It is good, but man, they are just so stiff. So if you get yours and he seems to be a bit stiff, I would recommend you just blast him under the hairdryer, or if you haven't got a hairdryer, put him under some hot water for 30-40 seconds, just so you don't break it. And one thing that I'm always a fan of with the Classified series, when you can get all of the components, all of the accessories onto the figure. And low light is no exception. It will look a little bit overburdened, so I may need a stand, but let's do a loadout. Okay, might look a little bit silly with that massive sniper rifle. Let's take the suppressor off that one and pop it on this one. Yeah, that's better. There we go. And for a quick size comparison, here he is next to Classified Gung Ho and Ultimate's Snake Eyes. Okay then, so my final thoughts on the G.I. Joe Classified series Low Light. This is actually a really cool figure and I was pleasantly surprised. Didn't know much about Low Light, as I said in the introduction. I did have him, but not this version. So I'm pleased to say that he's actually really cool. Just the sniper rifle alone makes it worth the pickup. Very, very unique and very, very well done. The only slight grumble, and it's not really about this figure, is the material that Hasbro use for the weapons is just very, very soft, and it just bends when you get them in all different poses, and that just kind of sucks. But overall, the figure is very nice, real nice look. I've had a look at the vintage version and they've paid tribute to that, and I'm a huge fan of that. So this is a great figure and a nice addition to the collection. I can certainly recommend him. He is easy enough to pick up. Big Bad Toy Store still have him. I think Robo Toys have him. He might still be available, but I'm not 100% sure. If you are here in Australia, then Robo Toys is your best bet if you want these figures early. Otherwise, wait a while and they'll probably pop up on Pop Culture. So that about wraps it up. I hope that you've enjoyed the review, and if you have, do give it a like and consider subscribing. And until next time, take care.